Jimmy Swaggart's name has long echoed far beyond the walls of his own church. Over the years, he's become widely known not just for his passionate sermons and heartfelt worship music, but for the deep impact he's made on countless lives, through his television ministry, books, and personal outreach. For decades, people have turned to Jimmy for spiritual encouragement and guidance, finding comfort in his unwavering faith and energetic delivery. His influence has reached well beyond his congregation, touching people across the country and even around the globe. Yet, as with many public figures, Jimmy's journey has been marked by both soaring triumphs and difficult challenges that played out in front of a watching world. Throughout his career, Jimmy Swaggart's ministry grew substantially, drawing in a devoted circle of followers who looked to him for wisdom and hope. His message of faith and resilience inspired many who faced their own struggles. Admirers praised his commitment to his calling, while critics questioned his methods and motives, especially during turbulent times. Like many leaders, Jimmy was not immune to controversy or hardship. At certain points, his life and work were tested in very public and personal ways, inviting scrutiny and sparking conversations among supporters and skeptics alike. Despite these trials, Jimmy never lost sight of his mission. His belief in the power of redemption and the promise of new beginnings kept him moving forward, even when the path became difficult. He continued to preach, to sing, and to reach people with his message, undeterred by setbacks. But recently, something unexpected happened that deeply affected Jimmy Swaggart and, by extension, those who have followed his story for years. This event, while not widely discussed in detail, brought about significant change, touching both his personal life and his ministry in profound ways. The details surrounding this recent incident have been handled with sensitivity, and much of what happened has remained within the circle of Jimmy's closest family and friends. But what's clear is that it has left its mark. For someone whose life has always been so public, whose daily work involved standing before crowds, broadcasting to millions, and serving as a beacon of faith, the sudden shift was noticeable. The microphones went quiet, the stage was empty, and Jimmy found himself in a space of reflection and reevaluation that he had not experienced before. This turning point was not just another bump in the road. It was a moment that forced Jimmy to confront deep questions about his health, his purpose, and his faith. For years, he had been a tireless figure, constantly traveling, preaching, and leading. His energy seemed boundless, his dedication unwavering. But no one, not even someone as resilient as Jimmy Swaggart, is immune to life's unexpected blows. Those close to him described this period as a blend of physical challenges and emotional struggles. A time when he had to step back from the relentless pace he had always kept. For many of his supporters, seeing Jimmy withdraw from the spotlight was jarring. They were used to his lively presence on television or at live events, always ready with a word of encouragement. Suddenly, that reassuring voice was absent, and the pulpit stood empty. Behind the scenes, Jimmy was wrestling with the same questions and doubts that visit anyone facing a major life crisis, questions about why difficult things happen, how to find strength to move forward, and what it means to truly heal. The experience led him to examine his own life with a new level of honesty, peeling back layers he had kept hidden even from himself. Rather than letting this difficult time drive him into despair, Jimmy chose to see it as an opportunity for growth. He realized that healing wasn't only about physical recovery. It was also about renewing his spirit and rediscovering his deepest sense of purpose. The revelation changed how he viewed his ministry, making him more aware of the importance of authenticity and humility in his work. During this period away from public life, he spent countless hours in prayer and quiet contemplation, seeking guidance from God, Scripture, and those closest to him. This time of solitude wasn't easy. Jimmy was forced to confront his own vulnerabilities and admit where he had fallen short. The process was humbling, but it also proved transformational. He learned to forgive himself for past mistakes and to accept forgiveness from others, understanding that true strength comes from embracing one's weakness and letting faith fill the empty spaces. He began to see that the journey of faith is not a straight path, but one filled with twists, turns, and the occasional stumble. What matters most is not avoiding hardship, but responding with resilience and hope. As he worked through these challenges, Jimmy discovered new depths of inner strength. He realized that even in the darkest moments, faith could provide a guiding light. He made a conscious decision to use this difficult experience as the foundation for a new beginning. The time spent in reflection allowed him to reconnect with what mattered most: his family, his friends, and his calling. He reached out to those he trusted, sharing his struggles more openly than ever before. The support and understanding he received reminded him that he was not alone, and that healing is often a communal process. Through these conversations and moments of vulnerability, Jimmy found not only comfort but also inspiration. He emerged from this season with a clearer sense of direction and a renewed determination to move forward. Even though the road ahead remained uncertain, he was ready to face whatever came next with humility and faith, knowing that true restoration would take time and patience. This period of challenge and reflection ultimately set the stage for a story of recovery, renewal, and a deeper connection to the people he was called to serve. Central to Jimmy's journey was the unwavering support of his family and close friends. These relationships became his anchor during the storm. Even though the previous years had brought their own difficulties, his loved ones stood by him, offering patience, compassion, and practical help. They gave him space to heal, while reassuring him that he was never alone. Late-night conversations, shared prayers, and simple acts of kindness became lifelines, bringing rays of hope during his darkest days. A small but loyal group of friends and spiritual advisors also played a crucial role. These individuals had witnessed Jimmy's successes and struggles over the years, and they offered a judgment-free space for him to express his fears and dreams. Their presence reminded him that genuine friendship means standing by each other. Through thick and thin, these connections not only supported Jimmy during his toughest times, but also helped him see his ministry in a new light. He began to understand that leadership is not just about preaching to many, but about journeying together through life's ups and downs. As Jimmy continued to heal and rebuild, he started to make changes in both his personal life and his ministry. He slowed down, focusing on spending meaningful time with family and engaging more directly with his community. Instead of constantly moving from one event to another, he treasured quiet moments and small acts of kindness. His approach to ministry became more personal, bridging the gap between himself and those he served. He reached out through letters, smaller gatherings, and heartfelt messages, showing that he was on a journey of growth just like everyone else. Jimmy also found new ways to serve, getting involved in community projects that emphasized healing and support. He believed that faith should lead to concrete action, and he devoted more energy to helping those facing their own hardships. Spiritually, he recommitted to living with humility and forgiveness, openly acknowledging his past mistakes, and encouraging others to learn from theirs. This authenticity resonated deeply with those around him, making his message even more powerful. Of course, the process of rebuilding wasn't without its challenges. There were moments of doubt and setbacks along the way. But Jimmy's determination never faltered. He accepted that lasting change takes time and allowed himself to move forward one step at a time. Fueled by patience and trust in God's plan, this new chapter in his life was more than a return